me get the camera? Oh. I just put the lure in the water, what, a minute ago?
Mm-hmm.
We've gone 100 feet from the anchor, and I caught a triggerfish on the Rapala.
Brett, Nate, I just want you to know that we still have it and use it.
And this is Hank from Nighthawk.
Nighthawk.
Still
Forgot that we
here.
called him that. If you ever run into us, it turns out that we are collecting shot glasses. This was not our choice, but it's happening.
It's happening!
We're in the Sea of Cortez, sailing north along the eastern shores of the Baja Peninsula. For the last 6 months, we haven't had much of a timeline, but with hurricane season rapidly approaching, we need to start pushing further into the sea. The past few days, we've been revisiting some of our favorite spots from the season so far. Today, however, we're finally up to something new. We're Will and Em, and we're living on the hook in our sailboat, Appa. After years of plotting our escape from the Fire Nation, aka our day jobs, we're finally home free on the open seas. Living off the land and learning how to take life at a much slower pace, we're embarking on our monomyth with our trusty sidekick, Ludog. Grab a beer, kick your feet up, and let us take you on this wild ride aboard our sailing bison.
It is day 2 of our 3-day hike up to San Marcos Island. Another 20 miles or so today, heading north. We got the boat ready. Our timing is impeccable. The wind's just starting to fill in. So Emily's gonna raise the anchor and we're gonna motor out just because we're surrounded by rocks. And then we should be able to raise the sails pretty quickly here and hopefully do more sailing than motor sailing today.
This place was cool though. The last time we were here, the water was still really murky. And I wish that I had the GoPro with me when I went to the beach earlier to do the drone footage, because on my way back, I saw a pack of 7 or 8 mobula rays right underneath the dinghy, just like gliding along the bottom of the anchorage here. It was really cool. They were all different sizes. It was pretty neat.
How neat is that?
So sorry I didn't get that on film. That would have been really cool, but it was a fun experience for me.
Shifting a little more southeast than east, which means it's coming over the back of the boat, and we're right on the line of being able to fly wing on wing, which is where we have our head sail on one side and our main sail on the other side. Looks like our boat will have 2 wings, wing on wing. We're going to give it a shot here. It might not work. We might be a little bit too far upwind still, but might as well try and see what happens. Sail out a little bit more. Fantastic, let's look at the speed. We were doing 2.7, now we're up to 3.5 and climbing 3.6. So we are a little off course. You can see we're going a little more west than we like to be, which means up here we might have to tack outward when we get close to these rocks, but right now we're doing great speed, decent angle, and we can adjust later if we need to. All in all, I think wing on wing was a success.
People often ask us if living on a boat is as amazing as it seems, and the answer to that question varies day to day. If you catch us on provisioning day, or when our water maker springs a leak, or when we're sweating out more than we can take in, We'd tell you in no uncertain terms that living on a sailboat is not for the faint of heart. But on days like today, when you're on the brink of new adventure, the fish are biting, morale is through the roof, you're checking off new achievements.
It's time to celebrate. We have officially gone past our furthest point north in the Sea of Cortez.
How exciting.
Yeah!
Pour 'em up!
To the furthest north we've been. Woo!
When the world is gilded by the setting sun, the dolphins are leading you in, and the full moon hoists itself over the horizon, it is so easy to say, heck yeah, this is better than we ever imagined. Since entering the sea back in November, we haven't spent much time in the water together. After 6 years working outside during the bone-chilling winters in Chicago, I really don't like the cold. So much so that even 75-degree water has me second-guessing a dip, but that's no excuse to miss out on the rocky shoreline along the point.
Anything in particular you want to see today?
I don't think so. I'm just happy the water's so clear.
Yeah, I haven't had that in a long time.
We have a pretty strict stay within eyeshot rule when we're in the water together. Safety first and all that. So when the water is this transparent, Will gets to spread his fins a bit. He was practically born in the ocean and absolutely lives for being submerged. If modern medicine ever offers gill implants, I think he'd be first in line. Meanwhile, I was born with 2 feet planted firmly on the ground, or something like that.
Nailed it!
Not meant to be. There's a big group of some kind of marine animal.
Finned creature.
Yeah. And I think I'm gonna jump in the dinghy and see if I can go find them. Come with me. I just saw one jump. They're mobula race. There are so many of them. full backflip. I will end it on that note. That was so cool. Are you ready to go beach, Beanie? You ready to go beach? Let's go.
Come on.
Can I hand you my stuff?
I was only a couple hours from the shore growing up, but if you've ever been to beaches like Ocean City, Rehoboth, or Sea Isle, you'll know it's pretty rare to find a large whole shell on your afternoon stroll. The exact opposite is true here in Baja. Every single beach has a vast display of colorful, pristine little trinkets.
Some sort of like tube. Hollow all the way through.
It's perhaps a bit morbid, but these small legacies left behind by the mollusks who created and inhabited them are a lovely reminder of life's dualities. There is purpose in vacancy, allowing new life and new opportunity to fill the void left behind. I'm not particularly religious, but I am, if nothing, sentimental. I've made a habit of choosing one, okay, sometimes more than one, from every beach we land on. My hope is to make something out of them, something easily repeatable, so I can create commemorative pieces for each sailing season. If you have any ideas or inspirations, leave me a comment.
What are you doing? I was taking pictures of were called whippoorwills. The reasons I was taking pictures of them is they're acting very erratically, and I think I just figured out why. My guess is that the bird's running around erratically because they're looking for this little guy. So what I'm going to do is scoop up the sand underneath them and move him to where the birds are predominantly running up here on the ridgeline. Hopefully that's enough. We'll see.
There he goes.
Come on, buddy.
Be free.
Be free.
He's like, I was trying to run away from home and you totally spoiled it.
I gotta get my camera back out. He just ran up with his mom. Right on the ridgeline where we're gonna put him. That's awesome.
There are so many shells here that as the waves roll in and out, they make like a tinkling sound, and it is so relaxing, so satisfying. It's like ASMR at its finest.
What do you say? Want to go have a sundowner with the other Catalina Morgan 440?
Hell yeah!
Let's get on it.
Ready, Lou? Let's get on it.
As we've mentioned many a times, there are only 68 of our particular boat ever made. One of those 68 happens to be 50 yards over that way, here in remote Mexico. So we met them earlier. The names are Brian and Jean, and we're going to go have sundowners with them and take a tour of their boat. So it should be a lot of fun. You may or may not come with us. It'll be up to their discretion, but we're looking forward to it.
It's going to be our first time boarding another CM440 since owning ours.
Mm-hmm.
And we are really looking forward to seeing how different their boat is. They've owned it for 15 years, which means that they've had it for most of the boat's life.
Yep.
And so we're hoping that they've kind of decked it out to their specific specifications.
Figured out some extra shit.
Yeah. And we can find inspiration from them as we go about any future refits.
Yeah, so off we go.
I was just about to make a video about how we only have 15 minutes left to get ready before Ty and Lynn come over here. And Will's currently in the bathroom doing his morning business, and all of a sudden I hear him say, and then I freaked it. But anyways, I have 15 minutes to finish my coffee, put my suit on, and brush my teeth, and get all the snorkeling stuff into the dinghy. And also lower the dinghy. So...
You have 14 minutes.
Water's nice and clear again today. That's great for us. We just saw Ty and Lynn dinghy over there, so pressure's on. Done. Gonna regret that later.
We try to fish as much, but as responsibly as possible. We typically limit our catch to 2 fish, and of whatever variety seems to be most plentiful. Spearfishing is a new hobby for us, and we're still learning new techniques and environmental cautions. Triggerfish seem to be abundant almost everywhere we go, and without the threat of ciguatera, Will finds them on the end of his spear more often than not. Today is an exception to the limit, however, because we're planning a special sunset dinner with our friends on SV Beluga, who pulled into the anchorage just as we were returning from our initial perusal of the reef.
I got 2 decent-sized triggerfish and my very first hogfish.
Well, as you saw Will sharpening his fillet knife, it was very, very sharp when he started cleaning these fish, and he unfortunately cut himself pretty good. We're gonna do a little wound cleaning, make sure that it's nice and sterile, and it was pretty deep, unfortunately, so I have to go dig through the workshop and find some super glue so we can close it. All right, second shelf down. No. There it is. Cola Loco. And I almost forgot, I need a bar of soap. And Will drops every single bar of soap that is ever given to him overboard.
So I think I wash my hands, wash it pretty good, wound wash, dab it, then I'll pinch it and use super glue it.
All right.
The Sea of Cortez seems to be a mere shell of what it once was. Reefs that show clear signs of previous diversity have been decimated by overfishing and damaged by careless visitors. Abandoned shacks sit along many beaches, and countless structures have been left either incomplete or abandoned. Older cruisers will tell you stories about the golden age of Baja, and the way they describe the sea is very different from what you'd experience today. Punta Chivato, despite being located just outside the bustling areas of Bahia Concepcion and Mulegé, has also fallen victim to the changing times. Here on the point, a large complex sits abandoned, overgrown, and disheveled. Bodega de Toro, meaning the Golden Sheep, or as it later became known, Hotel Punta Chivato, was built by Baja legend Lou Federico in 1966. With a long and complicated history, what was a crowning jewel during the golden age of Baja, boasting clients like John Wayne, Bing Crosby, and Jane Mansfield, is now a sprawling homage to grandeur long tarnished. There's a small airfield just north of the hotel, allowing private planes and helicopters to access the remote resort. Federico is quoted as saying, "By the time I left, there had been 18 crashes." He only owned the place for 5 years. The hotel now sits vacant in a state of severe disrepair, but the glimmer of its intricate design shines through the layers of dust and cobwebs. Many of the suites overlook the bay with gorgeous views of the mountains to the south.
You can see our boat though.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Hi, Alpha.
With eclectic built-ins and custom mosaic tile in the bathrooms, complete with skylights in the shower stalls, it's not difficult to imagine why so many celebrities in the 60s and 70s were venturing out of their way to this little slice of paradise. The hotel, once again renamed to Posada de las Flores, shut its doors in 2014 and is currently up for sale for a whopping $3.1 million. If you can afford that kind of investment, join our Patreon.
Oh, hi.
Who's a good boy? It's Wednesday, my dudes. Which means today's a day that we are planning to leave Chivato to go north to Isla San Marcos. But upon looking at the weather, we noticed that tomorrow's weather is about 10% better than today's. And seeing that we have no timeline, we figured we might as well stay.
Yeah, Chivato has been a pleasant surprise. We initially thought this was just going to be a weird kind of jumping off period for us, and we weren't going to do a whole lot, but the water is really warmed up. It's really clear. We've been in the water every day we've been here, which is kind of new for us. It's been pretty cold other than that. And the abandoned hotel up there was really cool to explore. So we've gotten to do a lot more here than we initially thought. This was definitely a good spot.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend to any future Baja cruisers out there.
Definitely. But we have done pretty much everything there is to do here. So today we've got our computers out and we will just be doing some editing. Today we are headed to Isla San Marcos, this island right here. We've heard some pretty mediocre reviews.
This is like the worst beach we've ever been on.